You are now listening to
the Primal Armor Podcast.
This episode is sponsored by Executive Fit LLC. They build custom deadlift platforms, custom barbell storage pieces, and make indoor and outdoor signage for your home or corporate gym. Every platform that pairs with a rack is customized to that specific rack, so everything fits nice and clean. And they ship nationwide. Each platform has a logo applied in a way that makes it impossible to peel up from wear and tear. They even make custom nameplates for your squat rack. Visit executivefitllc.com to request a quote and see what's available on their store. That's executivefitllc.com to upgrade your deadlift game today. Welcome back to episode 53 of the Primal Armor Podcast. We're starting to wind down on summer now, and that means one of the best times of the year is right around the corner. Fall is one of my favorite seasons of the year. It's the best time to get outside because all the cool colors from the trees changing, and the temperature starting to drop, depending on where you're at, so that can make things like long hikes a lot more enjoyable. It's also the perfect time for bonfires and camping, and you can't go wrong with getting outside during the fall. But as fall approaches, that also means the same with a lot of different sports. That means football season's finally arrived, basketball is about to start up again, the baseball playoffs are beginning, NASCAR's in its playoffs, the PGA Tour season's about to begin, and vast amounts of others. And that's a lot of sports to revolve around in the fall time. And most of you probably get into one, if not more, of these sports. There's professional sports, college sports. You probably got your kids' sports and any recreational sports that you play. And that's a lot of time tied up into sports. And more often than not, a lot of sitting around and watching sports, especially if you're into the fantasy league side of things. I know I was in my first fantasy football league last year, and I consider myself to be a pretty big sports guy. And I like to think that I have some pretty good knowledge about sports. So the competitive side of me had me really wanting to win more than anything. So that had me picking up my phone every 5 minutes on Sunday to check everyone's stats to see if I was winning or not. It honestly took the joy out of the sport for me because I was way too worried about being competitive and winning than enjoying the sport at all. And it had me checking my phone way more often than it ever should have been or have been before. It's way too easy to sit down on a Sunday and watch your favorite football team. And then you can carry that into the next game that comes on directly afterwards. Then there's the night game that's always competitive and fun to watch. And then there goes an entire day of just sitting around and getting nothing productive done. Then you do it all over again during the week with basketball or baseball or golf. And then you spend hours all week watching SportsCenter re-airing the highlights of those games that you've already watched. Now, the next thing you know, you're hours and hours deep into a sport. And that's the problem leading into these colder and colder weather months where people tend to be more and more sedentary. To try and combat that, I want to try and challenge you guys to play or participate in more sports than you're watching. And sports doesn't mean you have to join a rec league, although those are always a blast. I recommend you try it at least once in your life if you haven't before. But sports can be just about anything. Hiking is technically a sport. You know those guys that hike up Mount Everest every year? That's an extreme sport, but it's still a sport. That's what hiking is a sport. You just get to scale it to whatever level you're comfortable with. Try going swimming. Just because you're not being competitive with it doesn't mean it's not a sport. You'll be a lot happier with yourself in the long run when you're being active, especially leading into the winter and the holiday months. No one ever feels good about themselves when they waste an entire day and get nothing done. And that's what these sports seasons do to us. Even if you're not sitting there wasting an entire Sunday, you're still engulfing yourself with it for hours and hours during the week. And those continue to add up. I know this because it's been me. I'm not saying that you need to give up watching your favorite sports or your favorite sports teams either. Just make sure you're being more active than you are spending watching them. A really good way to combat that is to use your time being active to watch or listen to them. I'll throw on sports highlights, SportsCenter, recap podcasts while I'm driving to work, while I'm working out, or while I'm doing anything that I was already going to be doing, like chores around the house. And that way I'm not wasting unnecessary time by watching or listening to them. And that way, at the end of the day, I'm not feeling like crap because I wasn't productive. Am I perfect with it? Absolutely not. And that's why I'm making this episode. And I made that challenge of playing sports more than you're watching them. Because I also need this for myself. especially since this season is right around the corner. And like I said earlier, I was struggling with this just last year with watching sports and playing fantasy football. So this is something I'm using as a call out to make myself better. And I hope that you guys can also use this as a call out and hopefully become more active and healthier because of it. This is a perfect time to pick a new sport to try. You can even use this time to learn it with a bunch of different friends as a bonding activity. I recently bought my brother and sister-in-law a spike ball set, and we tried learning the game together. And it was a ton of fun, and I probably got more tired from running around chasing the ball while learning the new rules than I actually do during my normal workouts. And I got multiple other people doing it as well, and we had a lot of fun. This is a great time to branch out and try something new. Who knows, it might even create a new hobby in your life. I know a lot of people who go out and disc golf any chance that they get, and they're even searching for courses wherever they go to get some rounds in, even on vacation. And while disc golf really isn't my thing, I think that's awesome. I can always get down with someone's hobbies, especially when they're being active and having fun. So for the next week, or for even this next season that we're going into, I want to challenge you guys to try to play more sports than you're watching, and to try and branch out and try something new, no matter what it is. Even if it's something you don't like, you never know unless you try. You'll probably have a lot more fun trying than you would wasting your time, wasting your day, and getting nothing productive done. Try to be as productive as you can in the next few months. Multitask while watching or listening to your sports, and just try to be as active as you can. You'll be thanking yourselves later as the holidays come by that you can actually enjoy them this year, both because of your health and because you've gotten a lot more done than ever before. We have a big announcement that maybe you guys can use in case you're struggling to find something to keep you active into the winter. If you haven't seen it yet, Primal Armor has now become an official sponsor of the Garage Gym competition for this fall. If you've never heard of the Garage Gym competition, it's an online lifting competition with thousands and thousands of dollars of prizes up for grabs. And the best thing is, it's free to enter. All you got to do is submit your lifts by tagging hashtag Garage Gym Competition and a video of you completing them to Facebook, Instagram, or Reddit. It's that easy. Your submission gets you a chance to win any prize that's on the list, no matter what your results are. You don't have to be a competitive lifter. 79% of the last competition's participants had zero experience doing a competition, and there's absolutely no age requirement, gender requirement, or anything like that. Anyone can join and try this out for the first time. And this is the perfect time to try it with everything we were just talking about. Primal Armor is throwing in some really cool prize packs this fall that you can try to win. Enter yourself for a chance to win one of our 5 prize packs, which includes a new stainless steel blender bottle, a t-shirt, a hat, and a vinyl decal for your car, laptop, water bottle, fridge, or just about anything else that you can think of putting it on. The Garage Gym competition opens up on November 11th and goes all the way until the end of the day on November 20th. We're excited to say that we're sponsoring the Garage Gym competition this fall, and we hope that you check it out and participate. It'll be a good goal to train for and to get you active heading into these winter months. It's a fun new sport to try if you've never done it before. Like I was saying earlier, play more sports than you watch. You won't regret it. Before we end today's episode, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Anchor Podcasts. They distribute this podcast, you guys, in just about any platform you may try to find us on, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. All the recording, editing, and final touches are also done through Anchor, which makes getting the Primal Armor podcast out to you guys very quick, easy, and mobile. You guys can also submit questions or voice messages that I can add to our next episode. Go download the Anchor.fm app today to check out what it's all about. I just want to thank you for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you back here again next week.